We're starting.
Oh.
Shut up, Michael.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the Serenity Podcast. My name is Beth, and I'm Witty Knitting on Ravelry and Instagram.
And I'm Tracy. I'm Phoenix Fire _ knits on Instagram and Phoenix Fire on Ravelry. And it's the early morning edition.
Yeah. 7:41. Only 41 minutes later than I said I would be here.
That's all right. That's how it goes.
No, but
my house is empty. My house is empty. Michael's getting groceries. Holt is at the beach with his grandparents because it's his birthday.
He's already there?
He left yesterday because he said a 22-hour beach trip was dumb. So the rest of us are taking a 22-hour beach trip. Holt's already there. So happy birthday, buddy. I know you don't watch this, but there you go. We like to record on our kids' birthdays.
It's like a thing.
We did not record on the day after Christmas for Rena, but we've hit almost all the others.
I mean, there's always the next one.
It's true.
So, well, June will get a little wild because we could do my birthday. Actually, we could do my birthday and Ronan's birthday, and it might just happen to be the days we record anyway.
It might. But then we get to do an in-person one at CK, so that'll be awesome too.
Oh no, wait, when is Ronan's birthday? Yeah, end of June, not end of July. I know when my children were born and how old they are.
Somebody asked me what year my daughter was born. I was at work. I just got my temperature taken, and I mentioned she was going to the prom next weekend, and this person said, when was she born? And I was like, 2003. It took me a minute. You know these things, but you get caught off guard when someone asks you. Yeah, so I remember when she was little. I said, well, you could have just said, how old is she? Because I could tell you that off the top of my head.
Well, it's like the more kids you have, there's too many numbers in there. Like,
it's true.
Luckily, enough of mine are, I can make up weird little things in my head about how to remember their numbers. And Lulu and Ronan were both born on the 28th, just different months. So like they kept that nice and simple for me.
Cool how that works.
Yeah.
My family has a lot of, well, I have 13 cousins, but there are a lot of us who are born on the 8th, the 15th, all the different numbers show up a lot in our birthdays. Well, the same numbers, I mean, show up a lot in our birthdays.
And we knew what you meant.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. And Michael's family too, his brother and his grandfather have the exact same birthday. So
my mom and her mom, my grandma, and Matt's mom, my husband's mom, all have the same birthday.
Crazy.
And our sisters have the same birthday.
Now I know there are a finite number of days in the year, so that's going to happen, but it still seems pretty cool when it happens in my family.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. Okay, you told me to go first, so I'm going to go first.
Yes.
I've been working hard on one thing at a time, so I feel like I don't have a lot, but it is a lot of knitting. I think I marked where I was. I wanted to, oh. So I did, but it's on the wrong side because Bernie's hanging out on the inside of my sweater because you knit it inside out at the beginning so that you can knit rather than purling. So this is my finished Weekender Light. So it's the fingering weight pattern by Andrea Mowry. And I love it. Have I blocked it? I have not. Have I woven in my ends? I have not. Have I taken out my markers for the sleeves? I have not.
You should probably do that before you wear it.
But it's done. I mean, maybe.
You'll get caught on a lot of stuff.
But I love it. I think it's going to block out really well and fit really well. And it's so pretty. It's lavender loon.
Gorgeous.
Yarn. It's her BFL 150 skeins, and it's the colorway Primrose Park. And I used 2 skeins for the whole body. And then I went into the 3rd skein for the sleeves, and I really thought I would have more left over than I did. So I'm glad I bought 3, because obviously otherwise I would have a sweater vest. because I was trying to figure out, could I have gotten this sweater out of like just 3 skeins of 100-gram skeins of yarn, or would it be 4? So it would have to be 4, right?
I think math. It's early to do math.
I know, but when I weighed this, it was like right around 400 grams, I feel like. So then, yeah.
That's real close.
So this is done. Just need to block it so I can wear it. And I'm really lazy about stuff like that. I just, like, I feel like this is done, so it's off my list and I want to do the next thing. So I need to have like a big finishing day because I have the pile of stuff from our previous podcast is just like sitting there. Ends not woven in, not blocked. Whatever. So finish that.
And your suitcase for ZK.
What's that?
It needs to be in your suitcase for ZK. And I'll bring mine and we'll do our in-person sitting around in the hotel room.
This.
Be cranked up that, yes.
Oh, I thought you meant that other stuff to finish it. I'm like,
no. Just leave that stuff in a pile as long as you want. Pack that.
Okay, so finish that. And this was last weekend because I was trying to finish it in time to get the twinning bonus for the ZK knit along. So I was like, trying so hard, and I did get the sweater in. So lots of bonuses for that. But I did not get my socks done that I had really hoped to get done, but it's okay because my partner didn't either. So
so no pressure.
Yes, because I saw her ask a question like, does one finished sock count?
I saw that too on Discord. I didn't know that was your person.
That was my person. So I'm like, hey, I sent her a message. I'm like, are you asking about these socks? Because I'm not sure I'm going to finish. So like, don't rush if, and I was like, and I'm trying to finish this sweater. And she's like, ooh, if you're doing a sweater, finish that first. So that made me feel a lot better. But I did cut in for my first true afterthought heel. Completely guessed on where to place it because Aspen decided these are for her.
Oh.
So, like, that looks like about most of my kid's foot. She's only getting bigger.
She'll wear it at some point.
Yeah, it's not going to be too small.
No.
But yeah, she just took the finished tube out of my bag one day and put it on and was like, oh, are these for me? They are now. So I haven't touched those since I tried to power through them last weekend because I don't want to. And then I've been working on Aspen's blanket, and I've been doing like stretches like all the time, before knitting, during knitting, after knitting, and I'm like feeling loosey-goosey and wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So highly recommend doing that. Okay, so I think the last time you had seen it, it was here, and I had just put in this like bright strip from when it was warming up, and I'm like, I don't like this. Yeah.
Oh, no, you don't like it?
I didn't.
Oh.
Because I was like, that is way too much of a like, bam. But now that I've continued, I'm in love.
Yay. That's what I was going to say. Just having one stripe like that's off-putting, but it's going to stay warm.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be blue really again for stripes and stripes and stripes. Isn't it so cool?
That's amazing.
But I thought I did some math to figure out that it would be like a decent sized blanket, but it's very skinny. And I was talking to Matt and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. It's May and I'm into May on my blanket. Like, this is so cool. And he's like, you're in May? Yeah. He's like, that thing's going to be like 8 feet long. So it's like a nice little throw blanket, you know, like a nice little like lap TV blanket, but it's going to be very long. It's going to be probably
wrap around your shoulders and hunch up in though. Look at it that way.
Well, I've had a lot of thoughts.
Okay.
Because I'm like, maybe I just turn it and start going a different way. Or maybe I get halfway and then, or maybe I just make this really long skinny blanket because my 5-year-old thinks it's the coolest thing ever. She's going to be tall.
Mm-hmm.
An 8-foot long blanket that covers her body.
She'll appreciate that.
Is going to be useful. So that's that. And this I am going to finish before ZK because it is probably 80% bonus yarn. So
A lot of yardage.
mm-hmm.
Like I think I in the last week.
I think I could get myself into the top 5.
Yeah, I think you could.
Unless everybody else is doing the same thing I'm doing in there.
I don't think anyone else is doing.
Crocheting a ridiculous blanket that
No,
they're going to enter on June 17th.
I think it's just you.
It's probably just me.
Yeah. Let us know if you're doing the same thing, but I seriously doubt it.
So that's really all I've been doing. And every day I go to my little rainbow spreadsheet and I count how, like I'm dividing, like I mark how many I've done in a day, how many stripes. And then every day I do the math, like, okay, if I want to finish it by the end of May, this is how many stripes I have to do in a day. And then I'm like, oh, that number is ridiculous. So tomorrow I'm going to do like 15 and then it'll change. So I'm making something simple very complicated like I do.
Because you could always mark it finished in June anyway, and then go, because it's crochet, and then go back and add more rows later if you want to do that. That's, now that I say it out loud, it sounds really cheaty, but
I was gonna say, now you just
look like a blanket.
That's a really cool way I could cheat.
I know, but it looks like a blanket already. You could mark that finished at this point, put it down, and then just restart it later.
But me and putting things down is a problem. It'll never be finished.
I see that.
I'm already planning Lulu's blanket. I have so many single skeins of sock yarn, and I'm like, ooh, I could do, so I'm thinking like for her, like purple, green, like bright greens, yellow, pink. I don't know why. Probably because it's spring and that's like a very floral palette I'm thinking of, but I'm looking down here because I'm looking, this is where all of that yarn is that I'm talking about, and I'm just like, it's so pretty. I can't wait to make another spreadsheet.
Well, sorry to plant a devious idea in your mind, but if I can think of a way to make someone's hobby less stressful, I go for it. You can make it less stressful, let's do it.
Like it's not real stress. Like I like to challenge myself, and it doesn't really matter.
That's true.
And honestly, I just like doing the math. Like I get serious about how nerdy I am right now. Okay, so yeah, that's all that I've done.
I've started a lot of things. A lot of things. I had nothing. So we have 7 hours in the car over the next 2 days, today and tomorrow. And I had nothing that was ready for 7 hours in the car, no knitting that was at a good spot for that kind of thing. So I stayed up late last night to get knitting. Never a good spot. So let's see. Here's the only thing I've finished. I have finished my handspun socks. I almost forgot to show them, left them on the wall.
Oh, they're so pretty.
Yay. Oh, they're so squishy. I love them so much. It is Dancing Dog Dyeworks Superwash Merino vintage. I didn't put the year on here, but this is from the last year when she vended at ZK. So that's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might have still been in the ballroom at Kaler for the market at that point.
Wasn't that the first year?
I think we also did the market at Kaler the second year too, and then we moved upstairs with the market. Like the hotel moved before the market moved, if I'm not mistaken. But it has been a long time.
I would put my you are right about that.
It has been a really long time. So this was 4.5 ounces of superwash merino and the Sweet Apple Acres colorway, the old vintage tag. And let's see, She is Lucky Dog Fibers, Lucky Dog Yarns now on Etsy. Someone put that in the comments last week and I went and found her. She is still dyeing under a different name, but she only had stickers at the time. But hopefully she'll have some more self-striping yarn in her shop because she is a master at dyeing self-striping yarn.
Can I interrupt to ask you a spinning question?
Yes.
Okay, so for a rookie who wants to get back again trying, I have some fiber. Is there like a type of fiber that you would say would be better to start again with than something else? Like I know I have merino, I have Polworth. What else do I have?
Merino is pretty slippery, so a less slippery yarn is probably easier for getting back into it.
So what is less slippery?
Corriedale is less slippery. I'm trying to remember Polworth I love Polworth, but I can't remember from the last time I spun it if it's something that would be less slippery than merino. I feel like it would be. I know we have some spinners who watch, so let us know in the comment for us. Let us know if Polworth would be good.
Well, it turns out I have Polworth and merino. I guess that's all I have.
Go with the Polworth first.
Okay.
A lot of people say BFL, but that's not my favorite because it's a shorter staple length. I'm better at it now, but when I first started and everyone was saying that new spinners should do BFL, I didn't have as much luck with it. I was probably more that I was trying to get more yardage and I just didn't get as much yardage with it because it was a denser fiber. I'm not sure, but
I also have, now that I say that, I also have some, are they called Rolegs?
Oh, those are fun.
How do you say that? Rolegs?
Rolegs, yeah.
So I have some of those. That would probably be easier. Maybe I'll do that first. But
This is a different technique for spinning those, and it's just so I guess maybe you'd use your muscles differently.
Okay.
That would be fun. Do those.
Okay. This is my Polworth. Isn't it pretty?
Gorgeous.
I have two of these.
Gorgeous. I'm spinning some merino and silk right now from Into the World, but it's way over there, so I'm not going to grab it. It's the wibbly wobbly timey wimey color that I got from Jeanette. Remember when she was selling off her stash at ZK? She brought all the bags, and you remember that? Yep, she brought like all of these bags of fiber and was selling them for $10 a bag at ZK.
I do remember that.
And I wanted to buy them all, but I just got one. Left some more for others. Oh, all right. What else? So I finished socks. So immediately when I found out that the ZK knit along for the next few months is gifts, I remembered that I had put some sock yarn that Rena picked out into a bag to knit up after the knit along. And I thought, well, if I can go and get a bonus for this now, I might as well do it. Because she never asked for anything anymore. She never wants any knitted things. Whatever she asked for, I'd jump on it.
Like her sweater.
Sweater was the first sweater she's asked for since she was in elementary school, so she got that quick. She liked my Arne and Carlos Regia.
Ooh.
Cute.
Very cute.
So she's got one sock. And this morning, while you were child wrangling, I got this second sock. It was barely ready for car knitting. My little Freppet.
That makes me feel a little better, actually.
Stop focusing on me and focus on the Frappuccino. He's so cute. So yeah, so now I got some car knitting. So that's exciting. And I put it in my vinyl keep on knitting bag so I can take it down to the beach. If it's good weather, I'd go hang out on the beach so I won't get sand in it. So there's that. And I am practicing my crochet skills, bunnyfish, because I want to be able to start my blanket. And I had really lost everything that I knew about crochet. I learned the basic stitches, like how to get started, all the basic stitches from Connie Lynch at Into the Wool a couple years ago, and then promptly forgot everything that she had taught me. So I've been practicing with some cotton, some dishcloth cotton. I made some single crochet washcloths for my mom for Mother's Day. This was my first one. The edges are a little wonky. And then I got better with the second one, even though for some reason I made it a lot smaller. I don't know why. I just chained on fewer stitches. And then I started practicing the double crochet yesterday. So it's a little bit wonky too, but that's my start on double crochet.
Well, you know everything you need to know now.
I'm getting there. Yeah, I want to feel more comfortable with like starting a new row and keeping my tension. I crochet weird. I'm a thrower, and so I just can't get the.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to get the motion with crochet. And so I think the only reason why it was able to click with me with Connie's, because she said, I don't care how you get the yarn over, as long as it happens, you're going to make a crochet stitch. So I crochet funny. I'll show you some other time. It looks weird, but it makes a stitch. So she's the only person who's been able to get me to crochet an actual stitch. I sent Brenna to the craft store to get me some cotton. And that child knows me. Look at that.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
So I made lots of washcloths until I feel comfortable with my crochet skills. But that's been fun. It was something different to do. What else? What else? Two more.
Be good car knitting, wouldn't it? Or cars?
I just have to look at it, and I get car sick. So I have to have something I can do without looking down. So I thought that this piece of gorgeousness would be my car knitting, but I'm almost done with the body. And it wouldn't get me all the way there.
You've gotten so much done.
Got 2 inches left to go on the body. 2 inches from this little doohickey. And then I had to pick up stitches all the way around. I do 2 inches of ribbing at the bottom and pick up stitches all the way around the front and do more ribbing until I lose the will to live, and then pick up stitches around the cuffs and do more ribbing. So it's no longer, it's so pretty. It's no longer treble knitting. It's so pretty. I'll just be knitting it and then suddenly put my hand at the sleeve for no good reason, just to look how pretty.
Yeah, because look at it.
Because it's cashmere.
Okay, so that's fingering weight?
Huh?
Fingering weight yarn? Okay, how much of that do I need?
Well, I used probably less than half a skein, around half a skein of the really pretty contrast. And it's Eden Cottage yarn I got from Loot London in 2019. And I think I saw on Instagram they have finally reopened. They have been closed since March of last year. They have finally reopened the shop for people. I think you might have to have an appointment, but still, that's a big deal that they're finally reopened. And then the body is from Edinburgh, Ginger Twist Studio in Edinburgh. It's her hand-dyed yarn. And she just reopened last week too, for the first time in over a year. That was a really big deal because she's been on maternity leave. There's not a lot happening, but people can actually go in the store and pick stuff up now. Which is awesome. But this, I have 4 skeins of it, and I haven't broken into the 4th skein yet. This is my 3rd skein. It's getting flat. But I better break into the 4th skein. I know that I will. After I had to send Kim all the way to Edinburgh for it. Kim was already in Edinburgh. I had to send her all the way to the yarn shop for it. I don't think she's complaining. I haven't heard her say, darn it, I had to go to the yarn shop for you.
Right.
Yeah, she said she also got 4 skeins of the exact same color while she was there. And it's outgrown every bag I've had it in. So now it's in my stay home and knit bag. Stay home and knit all in bag from Simply Socks. I got way back at the beginning of the pandemic. And then there's the irony. The first time I'm leaving my house, I'm taking the bag with me. Right, so I realized I was not going to finish that for the April challenge. And I wasn't going to get any bonuses for it because it's a Hohi pattern, and all the yarns are not ZK vendors because they're all from the UK. So I decided I'd start something that would get me a bonus, and maybe I could just really quickly get through the color work and have the body to work on in the car on the way to the beach. And I almost didn't do it, but I knit yesterday like it was my job. Like it was every meeting I was in, while I was grading papers because we had an asynchronous day, I've knit like it was my job. It's a really long yoke. This is it's the Bern. Feel the Bern. Feel the Bern. Where's the weight knit so fast? I felt like I was flying, but then it took forever. At the same time, I thought it would take a day or two, and it took over a week.
It's so pretty.
Pretty. And this is all gifted yarn from my friend Linda. So it's going to count for the bonus this time. I didn't think I was going to do it, but I did. I'm at the point now where I can hopefully, right before we get in the car today, divide for the sleeves and have 4 inches to knit on the way there. And have a sock to knit on the beach. And while I'm out for drinks with my college BFF, my college roommate, we're getting together on Holt's birthday. And he's not thrilled, but I don't get to see her all the time. And it's the only time I'm going down there. So we're meeting tonight around 8 or 9 at the, there's a brewery right near her house, Salty Turtle. We're gonna meet the Salty Turtle, have a couple beers. I'll bring my sock with me. I'm so excited. Doesn't sound like parent of the year to go out with your college roommate on your son's birthday, but he left me with his grandparents for his birthday. So
yeah,
there you go. We'll still have dinner. We'll have cake. I'm going to meet her for a little bit.
He's 15? No.
He's 15. Yeah, he's 15. Gets his learner's permit Monday. He gets his learner's permit. Yeah.
Is he a good driver?
I have not ridden with him yet.
Okay.
Yeah, his driving instructor says he's really good. He just needs to work on moderating his speed because he goes, he can't keep a steady speed. That's understandable when you first get started. And he's very bad at parking, but he gets that honest.
I understand that.
Yeah, that kind of runs in the family. I'm not as bad. I'm not as bad as I have been, but oh my gosh, my poor child, the oldest. I took her. We used to go on driving excursions while she was practicing before she got her license to the town where I work because they have this big parking deck downtown, and then you can walk to all these really cool places. So we would drive for 40 minutes to the city where I work, pull in the parking deck, and she would park the car, and Brenna, we are sideways. And she's like, but we're still on this. We're between the lines that we got at one point, and the lines. And she had this little VW bug, and it was completely at an angle, but she was between two lines.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm gonna take your picture with this. Smile. I can find that. I'll put it in at the end.
Parking is the worst.
And the spaces are getting smaller and smaller, and the cars are getting bigger and bigger. But yeah, he's not doing too bad. Just can't believe he's that old.
Mm-hmm.
Michael taught him to shave last week. I don't think he'll need to do it again for a long time, but still, that was a big deal.
Oh my gosh. It's those milestones when it's like, whoa. Like Aspen is starting kindergarten in the fall. She just got here. Like, how did that happen? And at the same time, I'm like, I do not remember not being a mom. Like, oh, it's cute how I thought I was like busy or, didn't have enough time for things.
Now you know busy.
Now I know. And that, like in 5 years when they're doing things and have friends and activities and whatever, I'll be like, isn't it cute how when they were little, I thought I was busy?
That is rough. And then you get to the point where the oldest can drive and do those things for you. And suddenly your life has opened up again.
11 years to go.
Brenna drove Holt to basketball practice this year, and she would sit in the car. She would bring her laptop and sit she has a hatchback, sit in the back of her car with a blanket and a pillow and do her homework while he had basketball practice, and then drive her home. Wow.
She's so cool.
She's a really good sister. She's just happy to have a car. So she says she feels like she owes us that for having a car. I'm just so glad she feels that way, and she's not giving us a hard time. She drives him wherever he needs to go. And he'll be driving himself soon, and I don't like that. I don't think they both need to be driving.
It's just then one can bring you coffee, one can bring you biscuits. Life is good.
It's true. I need to train them better that way. They're not thoughtful about those sorts of things yet, but maybe we'll get there. Yes, I'm not sure if I mentioned at the beginning the reason why Holt is at the beach and we couldn't leave until today is that Renna is taking the SAT. There's another milestone. As soon as she is finished with her test, we are going to jump in the car and head down to meet them.
Was she having some stress?
Not as much as you would imagine, because this wasn't something she really had to study for. And she's had AP tests all week, so that's been where the stress is. And the presentation that you got to hear. So we were Zooming while she was practicing for this major research presentation. She spent a year researching soil runoff and fertilizer and how well the soil is able to filter out the fertilizer. And anyway, I don't completely understand what she did, but it seems really impressive.
It is really impressive.
I think she did well.
I'm sure she did. Well, and also, like, somebody should be concerned about the fact that there's like fertilizer in the river.
Exactly, and that
Big deal.
Yeah, that the soil's too porous to do any filtering, apparently. So apparently there is double the amount of fertilizer in the river than what the EPA says is advisable. And we live right on the river. She tested 18 spots, and all of them tested above that level. And the place with the sandy soil had higher fertilizer levels than the place with the clay soil, which makes sense because it's better able to filter. I never would have thought of that, though.
Interesting.
Never thought about fertilizer before. So hit the Serenity podcast, where you go to learn about knitting and fertilizer and organizing.
And did you see, well, I'm sure you saw the comments and you probably replied to them because you're a good podcaster, and I read a couple and then didn't open it again until later.
We have great replies. We have good people.
But I loved that Stephanie was like, I'm getting on my soapbox, and you talk about real life. This is real life. Talk about your electrician. Yes.
Talk about the messy entrance hall. I really was going to do a video letting you see my well-organized entrance hall with everything's just dumped. I've got baskets for everybody's stuff, baskets for the shoes, a hook for the coats. There's just crap. There's deodorant just laying on there's a bench where we can sit to put our shoes on. You can't sit on the bench. There's too much stuff. And there's deodorant. Stick of deodorant just laying there. Why? Why must well, we don't have visitors to our home because we are still distancing that much. But why would a visitor need to see our deodorant? No. Put it in your gym bag. That's my soapbox.
It's just chaos right now. Well, in Minnesota, it's like you need all the different kinds of coats and all the different kinds of footwear, and you might need winter boots one day and flip-flops like 6 days later. And that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but not that much. Like, so it's just, there's this chaos of which season is it? Okay, this stuff is all here. Okay, totally random squirrel moment. I found the remains of the mouse.
Oh, he was allergic to your yarn. It's for the best that he didn't make it.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah.
Condolences.
What?
Condolences.
But it was not in my craft room, so that made me happy. And I think, yeah.
That's what he gets for coming inside.
And I'm like, okay, didn't make it outside to tell friends and family about this nice, cozy home.
That's for the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, trigger warning, because when you were talking about the mouse in your house, it reminded me of the snake that we had in our house. And snakes don't get to stay alive if they come inside the house. Outside, it doesn't matter. Live your life, snake. But if you're in our home, you've gone too far.
And I feel the same way.
Cross the line, Sir Snake.
Yeah, I feel the same way about mice. Like, nature mouse, you're adorable. Come in my house, you're dead.
Yeah. Well, so the day after Rena got her second COVID shot, this is why I had trouble figuring out if she had reaction to the vaccine or something else was happening. She took a blanket down to the river and spread it out and was doing math on the riverbank, like you do in Huckleberry Finn or something. The next thing you know, so she looks down and there is a snake slithering over her leg. Yeah, I should have said trigger warning again before I told that story. Oh my gosh, she jumped up and like ran for a second, and then she came back and she lifted everything on her blanket with a stick to make sure that the snake wasn't under it, packed up and ran home. And she said, I don't think it bit me, but my legs feel really numb. We were checking her for snake bites. And then it occurred to me, one, it's probably adrenaline that made her legs feel numb. But two, she also had her COVID shot. So anything that's probably COVID shot side effect, we're like, oh, it was the snake. It was a snake bite. She's fine. Obviously, she's taking the SAT today, but what? Nobody deserves that. Just trying to do your math down on the riverbank and suddenly nature.
She goes all over the place to do her homework.
She does. She doesn't like to be contained. Before the pandemic, she was that person who would pack up a backpack and be like, I'm gonna go sit at McDonald's for an hour. Just sit at Starbucks for an hour. She needs to be in a different location for some reason to focus, where I'm the opposite. I can't focus in a different location. But she does just fine in the back of her car, the riverbank. Try to get her set up at the picnic table. That was not working. But yeah, that's how her brain works.
That is so interesting. I can't concentrate around other people.
Me either.
Like when I just finished grad school last spring, and it was a thing where like we had a bunch of stuff we had to do on our own, and then we would meet one weekend a month. And that weekend was like really intensive writing and working on stuff and editing people's papers and whatever. And like everyone, there were like 30 of us or something. Everyone would be in this big like library space, whatever, and they'd like work a little and chat a little and work a little. And I like in there, I was just like, whoa, I couldn't do it. So every single time I would go out and find some other quiet place and I would work. I was just in awe of the fact that they could accomplish anything with like starting and stopping and noise. And
yeah, and she's not going to be focused if other people are around or talking to her, but she can be around those people in her bubble, and she's fine. And I think there's probably somebody could really do a study on this probably. I think it's part of her ADD, that she becomes so hyper focused that she's in a bubble and she's fine, but she likes knowing that other people are around, where if she is in that bubble in her room, 3 or 4 hours could pass before she realizes what's happened. So I don't know. I can't explain it completely. I just know that's how she works.
Interesting. I really like your mug.
Oh, thank you. My mom got me this. It's from one of her favorite potters. I can't remember which one it is. Dyeworks, maybe? Can't read it, but yeah. Yes, she got me 2. One's blue and one has purplish on it.
Ooh.
Oh, she likes to go pottery shopping. I do too. I haven't been in a long time, but I sent her to a pottery sale recently with some the Christmas list for people. She had a good time. She had a good time spending my money at the potteries.
It's fun to spend other people's money.
Oh gosh, when you guys come to North Carolina, that should be on our list too. We should go to the potteries. There's this place that's south of me that's famous for the handmade pottery. And it's a town where people just have pottery studios in their homes. They just go to different places. Like they have like a little room set up in the front of their house that's for their pottery shop, and they live in the back.
That sounds adorable.
Yeah, and it's a town full of it, and you just drive around until you stop the places you want to stop at. That's so many big ideas for your North Carolina tour.
I'm feeling like this trip is just in my head. I'm like, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 days.
I don't know. It's going to be good though. We should plan next summer, because next summer I will not be at ZK because I'm going to Spain.
That's for sure now?
Yes, we have enough students going that I secured the second chaperone spot. So Colt and I are going on our way. England, France, and Spain for 12 days. I know. So excited.
Are you going to be in Paris?
Yes.
Are you going to go to La Bien-Aimée?
I don't know. I think we're going to have most of our free time in France, but I'm not sure if it's going to be while we're still in Paris or while we're in the outskirts. Because it's going to be one of those trips where you start in London and you do the whole like Windsor and the tours of all the big places, but then we move We take the tunnel to France, and then we start moving towards Spain. We're gonna take a boat. I mean, we're gonna be on a boat, a train, a bus, a plane. It's gonna be all the modes of transportation in 12 days. So I know we have free days, and you know, you've been on one of these trips too. There's way too much freedom built in for children. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, and I don't know where all the free time's going to be. It looks to me like it's going to be France, so maybe.
Well, maybe you find out, and maybe you spend some of my money, and
maybe
send you money for postage, so you can just mail it from there. And so I guess I could just go to their website.
You just pick it up when you get to North Carolina for our other vacation.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. So everybody's been sticking around all this time because they want to know who won our knit along.
Okay, now where's my post-it note? Right here. Okay, so I did this ahead of time because it's faster and easier, and then I don't have to like pretend I know how to pronounce people's names, and these people actually all have easy names. So, so I'm wondering, how should we put this out there and let them like send a message with their first, second, third choice? You know what I mean? And then
whoever's first gets the first choice. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so I'm gonna say their names first.
Okay.
And then we can show the things, and then we'll have them send who a message? Me, you, both?
We'll put our email in the show notes.
That's so much smarter.
Often do we actually get a chance to use our podcast email? Let's use it.
Now that makes so much sense. You're so smart. Okay, so the winners of the Copycat Cal were WKH25, which is Wendy, and Bunnyfish Heather, one of our in real life knitting friends, and Icing Cakes, who is Marlene, who was my swap partner in, I don't even remember what swap, but like years ago. Okay, so Wendy, Heather, Marlene, thank you for playing the Copycat Cal. Your choice of prize, so send us a message to our email with your first choice, second choice, third choice, and whoever emails first gets their first choice, and so on. You can see how this is going to work, right? And hopefully you think all these prizes are at least nice, and then you will. I would be happy with any of these.
I would have a lot of trouble choosing.
Yeah. Okay, so how about you show yours? Should we come all at the same time?
Mine is my favorite cat sandwich fibers. Oh, I love MJ so much. And luckily, in her last update, I was only able to get 2 skeins because I wasn't fast enough.
What did you get?
I'll show you in a minute. And I have a Twist Fiber Studio bag. So I love Ashley's bags too. And I just realized that this was totally unplanned. My sweater today is cat sandwich and Twist Fiber Studio. Oh, and Teenybutton, who I don't have a prize. I don't have stuff for a prize, but I feel like these are the people I talk about most on the podcast, especially cat sandwich and Teenybutton. So it's pretty funny how that worked out. But yeah, this lovely socks, lovely color work. I love cat sandwich.
So pretty.
Yay. And what else do we have?
Okay, so another prize is the Stress Knits mini skeins, which are her favorite base, so fingering weight mini skeins and the Plant Parent set, along with a Shop Knitting Nellie project bag, which more and more I regret sending away, but I have way more than my fair share. So, and the back is this cute fabric, and she has these little wood tags. So this is a prize together, one thing. And then the last one was the lovely project bag from Jess Coffee with the Fool.
So cute.
And along with that, okay, this is such a weird combo, but I love it.
It works.
It works. So this is a skein of Barnyard Knits in a Misfit colorway. Again, don't understand why it's a Misfit colorway because it's beautiful. And then Everything Old Pinkie Pie colorway on a singles base.
I would have never put those yarns together, but can you imagine a pair of socks with the pink heels, toes, and cuffs, and the Barnyard Knits is the main color? How cute would that be?
How's it in this bag? Mm-hmm.
I would totally knit that.
All right. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Too. And it's funny that now that we've drawn prizes, I remember that I had new stuff. I never have new stuff. I bought stuff.
I never show new stuff.
I have new stuff. I'm going to show it. For some reason, I must have been in a happy place in my mind because I put my cat sandwich stuff into the cart and then walked away. I thought I had bought it, and I was like, I never got my confirmation on that order. So I clicked back through, and I'd lost half of my cart. It's for the best. It's fine. I have plenty of yarn. It was just funny.
What did you lose out on?
The grab bags in there.
Oh.
I think that was it. There might have been something else too, but I wanted 2 skeins of this. I think it's a one of a kind. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's the one of the kind. She calls for one of a kinds willy-nillys. You never know what you're gonna get. So I got 2 willy-nillys.
Ooh, those are pretty.
Gorgeous. So, oh, and look at the speckles on that one. They're the same basically, but that one just the speckles came up right there in the back. So I'm thinking this is going to be the body of some Colorworks sweater, maybe another Sunset Highway, because my friend Kim, who got the yarn for me in Edinburgh, she recently finished a Sunset Highway, and now it makes me want to knit another. So that, or it's going to be a is it called the Rose? Whatever. There's a David Rose inspired sweater on Ravelry that I really, really, really want to knit.
Oh.
This might be the body of that. Yeah. So that's what I got, and I pulled the trigger. I told you guys last time on another set of the grab bags that Teenybutton does, where you just it's a $15 skeins. That's right, $15 skeins, and she puts them together for you. And she doesn't promise she'll do this, but every time we have done this, she has put together colors that go together. Look at this. Look what she did. I know.
Is that why you asked me if I had?
Yes, I got a second skein of Christmas Tree Farm. I think this might have more pink in it than what I had before. So I was like, well, that would definitely be a present for Beth if she'd already have this. Or it might be a podcast prize some other time. Or I might just make something really huge out of Christmas Tree Farm. Or 2 pair of socks. But I am not unhappy. And then there's this one that's called Love Story. And this one in the middle is Golden Oak.
They are so pretty.
So pretty together.
Yeah.
I haven't taken them out of the bag, so I'd like to look at them together. Thank you, Robin. And there's one of her hairs in there too, so I can clone her if I want to have my own private dyer to make me all the yarn.
You make me one too.
I will. Yeah, I can probably split that. I'll get Renelle on that. That'll be next research project. Can you make me a Robin?
She's definitely going to be the one to do it.
Then I can get all of the yarn. Gosh, it's not even 9:30 here. I'm already punchy. It's ridiculous.
I have new stuff too. Should I show it?
Yes, you should always show new stuff. We also have new haircuts if you haven't noticed. That was weird. We got our haircut on the same day. And a Mebin knit group got their haircut the same day too. It was weird.
I don't know if you were serious about Bedhead podcast, but I have not showered. I have not done my hair. It's real life. But it's short enough where that's kind of okay as long as you don't see the back part that I've been sleeping on.
I love it. I love it.
I need to strategically go get my new stuff so you don't see the back of my head. I'm just kidding. I don't care.
We Zoomed the night we got our haircuts. So it was completely accidental. We did not mean to get haircuts and then get together on Zoom. And she curled it. It was curly on top. And I didn't know if that was her natural curly, which I should know better because we have stayed in a hotel room before. And it reminded me, I asked her if she had a rough day, and I feel terrible about it because I wasn't saying her hair looked bad, but my old apartment chair had kind of curly-ish hair that was cut really short. And whenever he got stressed, he'd put his hands on his head and he'd rub And so by the end of a really stressful day, his hair would be way up here and her hair was way up there. It looked cute. But also like she might have been rubbing her head.
Okay, see, this is why I don't this is why I don't show new stuff. I don't know if this is all of it. This is all I'm going to show you. Okay, let's see. There's one other thing here. Okay. Okay. I'm already like, I don't know why I feel that way. It makes me so happy. Also, my curly hair looked ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
I thought it was cute, but it was tall.
Thank you. Yeah, she always makes it like real big.
Oh.
Not a real big hair kind of person. Okay.
In the South, we say
also,
Jesus. Taller the hair, the closer to Jesus.
These are all wrapped too, so they're all crinkly, except for this one, because I had to take it out and look at it. So I was much more careful with my cat sandwich order. I had an alarm set. I was like checked out in like the first minute of the update.
I knew better. I knew better.
So I got a skein up because believe it or not, I only have one skein of cat sandwich fibers. How is that real? Before this order, I only had one because it's one of those yarns I get it and I knit it because I just can't.
Oh, I hoard it. I hoard it like dragon.
So this is, excuse me, raindrops on hydrangeas. And I feel like either she dyes a lot of pink or I'm just really drawn to her pink because there's pink in every skein I have. This one is for Aspen. I'm going to try to knit her a sock head hat and hopefully a pair of socks for Christmas. This one is called Barbie Dream House. Her favorite colors right now are pink and purple, so I'm like, oh yeah, that's happening. This one, I was channeling my inner Tracy because I feel like this is a current Tracy color. This is
have an inner Tracy.
Electric Tangerine.
Ooh, I think I remember looking at that one.
And this one is called Magical Girl. I was a little disappointed because it looked like it had a lot more like yellow and gold in it, but then I opened it up and it did. And then I was like, oh, that's not quite what I thought. And then Stress Knit Stacy had her cut flower collection.
I saw that.
And mini skeins. Ronan got a hold of this one, which is why they're all jumbled up.
Oh.
So this is the sunflower one.
I think he wants the sunflower something.
And this is the dahlia one.
Gosh, that's gorgeous.
Right? And then this one, and she does not typically do like bright colors, and she did this time, and this is her zinnia mix.
Oh, I just planted 2 big pots of zinnias.
So I have those, and because I can't be stopped, got another Shop Knitting Nellie bag.
You're an unstoppable force.
Isn't it so cute?
That is adorable.
And look, there's a bird, a mama bird with three little baby birds. I have 3 little baby children.
If you have a 4th, your bag will be dumb. Just kidding.
Did you say?
If you have a 4th child, now your bag will be dumb.
I have to get rid of it.
I don't know why I said that.
I'm going to tell the internet just like I tell everyone in real life. I should stop saying the internet, like we're not talking to real people.
Yeah,
I know
there's some really awesome people out there.
Okay, so I'm going to tell all of you lovely knitter folk, if we have a 4th baby, it was not on purpose.
Oh, now it's out there in the world.
It's out there in the world.
I get to name it.
Tell everyone.
With all of my leftover baby names.
Oh, you already know this. Carrie, my sister Carrie, claimed a baby name, and she does not plan to have children, but at the time she had not made that decision, I thought, and we named Lulu, Luella, Lulu, and excuse me, the name she had claimed was Lydia, which is the middle name of someone that was our great aunt that was very special to us, who actually lived here in this house.
One of my favorite former students.
Yeah, see, it's a great name.
It's a great name.
And we named Lulu, and she's like, oh, you could have named her Lydia. I'm not going to have kids. What? I told this story on the podcast. I feel like maybe
I don't know, but it was on our Zoom. I don't think it was on the podcast, but maybe the old one, but I don't remember it. Now you have to go down to the courthouse and change the child's name.
I know.
She's going to be so confused.
So if there's a number 4, boy or girl, Lydia. Just kidding. Oh, if it's a boy, we wouldn't be able to name him because it took us 9 months to figure out one name that we could agree on.
Oh. Well, we had 2 boy and 2 girl names picked out. So I still have 2 leftover names if anyone's interested.
Do you want to tell that?
You can have those for free. No, it's fine. But if anyone's looking for one, just ask. I'll let you know.
I want to know.
I think I already told you.
I don't remember. My memory is not like yours.
Well, if Brenna was a boy, she was going to be Graham Stokes Workman, because that's some maiden names in both sides of the family. So she'd have 3 last names if she had been a boy. Holt ended up with 3 last names. Because by the time we had him, the grandfather, who we're going to name Holt, well, we're going to name Brenna Graham after his grandfather, had told us he wanted a boy named Holt because that was his middle name. He wanted a boy named after his middle name, not his last name. So by the time that happened, we knew that we had to change. All right. So then if Holt was a girl, he was going to be Margaret Rose, after my love of roses, because I have a whole yard full of roses out here. And this lady from our church named Margaret, who we loved. So those are my leftover names. I don't think anyone wants the boy name because it's pretty specialized, but my girl name's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds like a queen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Wilson Holt, everybody told me when I named him that sounds like a president. Like, oh, we'll see. No, he must be a basketball player. Not a president.
He can do more than one thing.
He can do all kinds of things. He does lots of things.
You don't get to be a president forever.
That's true. Eventually you have to retire and play basketball.
Hmm?
All right. So before we head out of here, speaking of our awesome listeners, our next knit along was named by our friend of the podcast, Chrissy, who called it a knit-a-thon, and I can't get that awesome word out of my head. And then she got excited that we had mentioned her on the last podcast, and then she was so excited that I got so excited. It was this big circle of excitement, and thank you so much, everybody who comments. I get so excited reading your comments, and that one totally made my day. So yeah, knit-a-thon. We're gonna be knitting from stash, and Beth is working out some really good. Well, she always works out good prizes, so I'm gonna have to up my prize game for that. And then she's also worked out some pretty awesome guidelines for it.
And I think
we're working on it still. I'm wrapping my head around it.
So should we say like we're gonna wait till June, or?
Yeah, well, okay. Our next podcast would be the 22nd, around the 22nd. So we'll announce everything on that one and start June 1st. Actually, it doesn't matter because we're gonna let people use whips, aren't we?
I think so.
Because we're not like soup Nazis. We're not the knit Nazi. No prize for you.
No yarn for you.
That was a whip. Yeah, I think we'll announce it the week of the 22nd. Okay. And people get started, whatever. Basically, we pull on your stash yarns, figuring out what you want to get out of your stash and move along into finished object status. So I had to have notifications pop up.
Based on the older your yarn, the better your bonus, kind of.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah.
I just need to do some old yarn out of stash. So sounds good to me. Pull out those old skeins.
And I think we're going to count anything that is in your stash up until that start date.
All right. So anything purchased before June 1st.
So I think what we're saying is,
we have not talked about this much. We've had some text messages happening, but neither of us are having really good reading comprehension. At least on my side.
I mean, I already have it planned in my head, but I feel like I'm getting a very like, hang on a second vibe from you. So.
Oh, no, it's fine. Just get it out of your head, put it in a Google Doc, share it with me.
I could email it to you from my personal email to our podcast email, and then we can.
Ooh, fancy.
But yeah, get your start thinking about stash yarn projects that you want to do. We're gonna round up some awesome prizes because prizes are fun.
Are fun. That was it. Knit-a-thon. But there should be like confetti. I need to get Michael on that. We need a confetti screen when we say knit-a-thon.
Do you ever do, okay, you teach older kids, so maybe you don't do dorky things like this. Do you ever do firework claps?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
I would get this face. No, we don't do that.
When a classroom full of kids does it, it sounds really cool.
I would be the only one. Everybody else stare at their computer screen saying, what is wrong with this lady?
One firecracker. You are one firecracker.
I'm one firecracker. In a world of duds. That's right. And we are still not well, no. Technically we are 60% virtual still. 40% of our kids have come back, but it doesn't feel that way. Some classes I'll have a kid or 3. Some classes I have 14, but it's still very depressing. School's still a very depressing place to be right now. But it'll be over soon. June is soon. And then I'll see all my ZK people in person, eat in a restaurant, do all the things I haven't done in over a year. Excited.
It makes me feel a little like a little anxious.
Me too. But it's people I trust.
Yeah.
Except on the airplane, but that's fine.
We'll be following all the rules, and
yeah,
we've got the shots.
Definitely. All right, guys. I think that's everything. It was good hanging out with everybody for, I wonder how long? About an hour?
Yeah.
No,
it always is. I always think, oh, maybe it'll be quick this time because
never quick.
It's cool.
Never. All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Can subscribe. Yay, subscribe. Did you hold the button?